Today, I'm going to attempt to install the OneUp Carbon E mountain bike bar on the, I think they call it the E-Carbon mountain bike bar, on the Pivot Shuttle SL Fazua Ride 60 system. I don't yet know, I haven't taken it apart, if the ports are the right size. I think they are based on talking to QBP, talking to Pivot. I did as much legwork as I could before I go ripping into this bike, but I kind of wanted to show you how you do this and how you go through the entire process and where everything is. There'll be a little bit of exploratory stuff going on. I know what to do, and I will now be attempting to do it. So hang with me and let's start by taking the parts of the e-bike off the top LED system. Okay, so in order to take, so you know where this piece that lifts up, and in the front here you've got the port. There are two tabs supposedly in this front section that you reach in and you push like this. Yeah, yep, there were, okay. So that popped up just like that, okay. Now there's what looks to be, probably do it with this flathead by luck. This is a Torx 10, so other than this is lucky that it fits, don't do this. Use the correct tool. But because this fit perfectly on accident and it's threading into plastic, it's no big deal. Okay, so let's pull that out. Okay, so that slides forward off these two hooks. Okay, and oh, this has, it's attached. Okay, so that's the system. All right, I see that. Let's just make sure that, no, that's magnetic. Let's make sure that stays in place because that goes in, there's a cutout right here. I don't know if you can see that on there or not. There is this. This slides in that hole and then pops up against and holds this entire plastic tab. This is magnetic. Supposedly 6 inches down, when I get to that point, is where this cable, this is the one we want to thread, supposedly according to all of them, about 6 inches down, as we pull this up, there should be a connector. Okay. Oh, they're both running in the same way. So, oh, there's a bunch of, oh, look at this. There's a bunch of cable in here. Okay, so now, so you have a lot of cable to work with in here. That connector comes apart pretty easily. And this is the cable that matters right now. Did this system fit? Look at that. Oh, it might be too long. All right. Told you I was gonna be thinking through this a little bit as part of the process. Let me see if I can take this out without taking apart any of their stuff. Okay. Take off these rubber bands. Now the reason I'm doing this is it's my wife's bike. And one of my things is I'd like to limit this cable getting caught because it's a fixed cable. All right, so the question is, am I down to drill these brand new bars? The answer is why not? As long as you're very careful, carbon is actually incredibly resilient. So why don't we give you guys a view of this. I pulled this far enough out so it's kind of out of the way. We'll just use the cutting tool. And we don't need to do much. Mostly what I want to do is just take kind of a little bit out this way. It's carbon, so I'm going to try hand shaving it first instead of taking a big bad drill bit to it. Yeah, that's what I expected. You can see this. It's actually thinning down really nicely. By the way, don't let them tell you you can't modify carbon at all. You can, and it is safe. I'm not saying go drill 1,000 holes and lighten your frame. Don't be crazy. But it's a really resilient and strong material. Just, you know, this is one of those things where I wouldn't take the biggest drill bit I could find and go wrecking a hole through this thing. But I just need to shave enough off to give myself an entry angle. If you have sharp bits, you can attempt to do that by hand. Okay, let's see if that was enough. I didn't have to take off. Did you see that? And now I can take it in and out. I made right on this end. You can, this thing in black against all that's hard to see. Right on this end, or right, oh, there we go, right there. I didn't take any out on that end. I did only on this side at an angle. Took off very, very little to make this work. I mean, here's the end I didn't drill. Here's the end. I hand drilled with a sharp bit. I didn't take off 2 millimeters, and all that fits like magic now. All right, let's take apart the cockpit the rest of the way. Let's get all this stuff ready to go. It's gonna be really nice to do this. I think my wife's gonna be excited. Looks like these are T25s, boom. Okay, get these loosened up. Let's see, what is this thing? It is a T2, folks. Not, okay, I'll allow that to move. So we can now remove this from the bike. Okay. These are, see if these are all long enough to slide off, or if I'm gonna have to doubt that's gonna do what I think there. I need a 5. A lot of you are gonna notice there's a whole lot of stem sticking up, or a whole lot of steer tube sticking up. I am not gonna, until my wife is really happy with the final location, I will not be the one to chop this off and make it look really good, only to have her tell me why she didn't want it like that. Okay, now, I know that my wife likes her bars. Here, let's get you zoomed in a little bit here. Get you right up on that. Awesome. So my wife likes her bars at 760, at least that's where she's at right now. I'm gonna guess we're gonna drop to 750 at some point, but for now I know she likes them at 760. Okay, so a few things that are a good idea to own. Something to line up to cut your bars. Use the carbon blade. This is a Park Tools CSB one. I don't know, that's what it looks like. It's been used. And then line up your, you can slide this in here and you can line this up right where you want your bars cut, and you'll get really nice cuts. The carbon cutter just cuts such a clean line. By the way, they do suggest you wear a mask when you cut carbon. I'm not saying I disagree, so If you don't like carbon dust, which you shouldn't, just think it's awesome. I wouldn't run around trying to, you know, breathe this stuff, but get it lined up, get it clamped down. You know, then once you get these cut, if you've got a tool, this one's husky, and you just take it, and this just deburrs. And the one end is like that, and the other end is a point. The point clearly does the inside. There are arrows on which way to spin it. And it just cleans up your edges, okay? You don't need a lot of pressure with carbon. You're just trying to take the burrs off so it's clean. Your goal is not to cut it, but just so that when you feel the edges, they feel really smooth like that, okay? All right, now, here's what we know. We know we need, let's do this. Oh, we're catching, there we go. We need to pop this in like this. Here, let's back up. A little too zoomed in for this. Okay, so I'm gonna use this because it just looks easier. Run that out like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna take this, because I know this is the end I want it on. See if I can do this. We're gonna put this in the hole. I think you can feed this thing back through the inside of itself in this process. Okay, again, I'm learning, so, you know, learn the tips and tricks from me as we go. And then we're going to, oh yeah, see that slides. Look at that, that's gonna slide right over. So this piece, see that? Can be put away as nicely as possible. See that? So you should have the least amount of cable to get caught and ripped apart right now. And everything else stays in place. Okay, now what we do from here is we are going to take, come here, this end, put it in this piece of rubber. Hoping all this comes out real good. I'll try my best to make sure it does. Feisty. Okay, so we got those two connected. Now we should be able to take this. Okay, first things first, I want this thing as far. So this piece, like I said, watch this piece. So put this piece as close to that end as you can get it, and hopefully it stays there. Might have to put a little tape on it. It likes to move around. We're gonna get to where this is here. I was worried that was gonna do that. Okay, so far all those aren't working. I got out the old man glasses. I'm gonna try just long, skinny in those pliers. Okay. Wouldn't squeeze too hard. It's a cable, but I did get it to come up. And once it's up, I mean, I got more than enough room to get that thing out of there. So that's the answer there. Speaking of, see, this is her left grip. So So I already have the grips ready to go because I know when you put the grip on, you need that cable to stay in there. Okay, so we know that that's going to sit against the grip. We know that that's a good cable length. All our cables are put away. We have figured out so far how to install this on a Fazua Ride 60, which I'm pretty excited about. Oh man, that's gonna work. Oh man, that's pretty cool. It fits out from under on this Yoshimura stem. That was also making me nervous. Now, if you don't know about OneUp bars, you know, you set the bike level and then you set this to the angle. The bike is actually the head tube angle, okay? That's how these bars work. We're looking really good. All right. We're just gonna snug this, nothing more. This, so hopefully it's hard to roll, there we go. So, we figured this piece out. Okay, let's feed this back in from where it came. Okay, so this, as we talked about, it'll go on where it needs to. I still have plenty of cable here. Cool thing about this is it, boy, it cleans it up. I'm not quite sure how far in I can go. Okay, so now we're going to take this and put it back through the way it came out. Okay. And then, when you look at this, I don't know if you can see it from, I'll try to zoom this in without it being too blurry, but it's pretty obvious how it's gonna go back together inside of there, okay? Matter of fact, that just looks like a big old happy face. Yeah, lined up nice. Okay, and then we're going to tuck this back down into where it came from, like it was before, inside of there. And we're gonna do the same, we're gonna get this end inside of there so it's all nicely tucked away. And then this just pokes down into the, down towards the battery, I guess. Oh yeah, very nicely actually. So that's nice and put away. Slide this piece in. Let's see. Okay, that's close. Quite. Don't tighten this real tight. Just make sure it, you know, it's plastic, so don't get cranking on this, right? If you feel tension, like don't over tension it. There we go. Once you feel tension, be done. Leave it alone. Okay, now this, because that was poked down in there. Hopefully all the way that it needed to be. And once we apply this, that's looking good. Stick something in that port and just knock that cable the rest of the way down. that was easy enough. And that big open port on the side, now this works like it's supposed to. Okay, all right. It's gonna be a touch tricky because I didn't put this back on. It's gonna wanna pull, but this goes in the lower, okay? And your brake cable goes up in the bigger one on the upper. That's the correct way to put this away. Okay, there we go. This one lower, this one upper. Make sure that piece we pulled through lines up into there. That's how you're gonna protect this and get it through. This back on your bars, flip it shut, okay? This way I don't have to try to rework this on the other side because it was already enough work just getting all this in place. How clean that is, man. No cable there, just this little bit here. I do feel like it's a lower risk now. It's definitely not. There's not this long length of cable along the bar. I mean, granted, you'd have to get through all this. And if this bike were Axis, it would be like super clean now. But we decided not to on this bike. The XTR shifting is so amazing and it came with it, so there's no reason to change it. The overall finish of these bars, they're really nice bars. They look good on here. Like I said, I'll change this when she decides. I'll finish setting up her cockpit. This just simply gets put in place and tightened down. Just needs to be at the right spot for. Oh, look at that, it works. We didn't break it. I can test and verify the LED lights came on. All right, so the bike's back together. Wasn't that bad. Like I said, you saw the little modification I had to make. This cable moves in there. It's got a little bit of room, so that's perfect. Cleans up the cockpit, puts that wire away, looks really good. And I'm gonna go through and torque all this. I'm gonna get the wife out here, reset it up, and then I'll torque everything into place. Make sure you use a torque wrench and torque your bolts back down that are torque specific. Make sure to get everything put back when you do a project like this. I hope you like this video. It's edited a lot, like I took out chunks, but I just wanted you to see sort of the process. This does work and you can do it. So if you want to run OneUp bars, the E-Carbon bar on your Fazua Ride 60, which is going to come on a Pivot Shuttle SL, a few other bikes. I think there's a transition. If you want to run them, you can. It works. You saw what little tiny mod I had to make, and that is nothing. And you'll be able to get this real clean cockpit. And I hope this video helps you out when you're trying to figure something out. And I hope to see you out on the trails.